Hello again. Good to see you. Well, it must be. Well, it should be Friday, 7 p.m. I know. Um, different, you know, different setups. Welcome, one and all, for the weekly wrap of what broke in the world of woke. Let's unwind as we rewind on the week that was woke. It's a bit of a Doctor Who special, really, looking at whether Doctor Who's been ambushed by a woke agenda, platforming LGBTQ issues and inclusivity to the detriment of truth and honesty and good storytelling. Yeah, I've got your answers in already. But we also have Superman the Immigrant, Glastonbury shame for the BBC, the Lorraine Kelly J.K. Rowling stoush continues, and Jason Isaacs defending the choice actor for Snape's. It's all here, so do join us, give us a like, give us a subscribe, tell a friend, join in since we're live tonight. So, you know, it is very obvious. There are two of us who do this. I can't do a show about the week that was woke without the queen of the woke, as once described. She's been busy. It's great to see her again. The red carpet is, as usual, not there. And so, hello, Rachel.
Hello. It never is there. I hope my sound is all fixed as well.
It does. It sounds all right. Your sound will be much better than mine, as everybody who watches my channel will tell you. They'll be saying, "Brendan, you sound like Davros. Go away."
Yeah,
We'll have
Davros or a Dalek.
Yeah, we'll have Rachel just
Go on,
instead.
get on
Bye.
out.
So, yeah,
Hello, Pat, by the way.
this is going to be another tasty one, I tell you. So, as you know, everybody who watches us, we will do the wokest of them all. We'll actually make a decision. Rachel, as usual, I mean, she sends me ideas and she does it on her channel. But the thing is, I never really tell her what we're doing. So,
I've no idea.
there we go. So, just to give you a starter for 10 for everybody watching, RTD's Doctor Who betrays LGBT people. Queering of Doctor Who, racist bonfire displays, BBC's Glastonbury, Ofcom on trans women's voice, RTD feminising a queen, jab. There you go.
What?
So that
Put
should
your feet
hopefully
back
get
in.
exactly, yeah. So basically, there you go, everybody. You can see it. So suppose we better start. So first of all, I thought, I'll be cheap and cheerful. Pa, what does politically correct mean? Well, son, it means giving up your own opinions and beliefs in order to please some whiny little crybabies. Well, there is an element, isn't there, Rachel? I mean, it doesn't matter what job you've got, or where you are, or whether you're in the pub, or whether you're with friends, or you've just got to watch your mouth. It's awful.
Oh, absolutely. Zip it, everyone.
So why are we doing this?
Oh, are we not supposed to? We're going
Well,
to
I
get
don't.
cancelled now.
Oh, we might be in big doo-doo. We're taking a risk.
Oh,
Everyone else is enjoying being in a thread and hiding behind the keyboard,
I,
while we are the ones who will say something. I'm always told off every week.
I've had people try to cancel me. It really didn't work. So,
No, she's not going away. Not at
uh,
all. I like this one though, Rachel. I must admit, after this week when Macron visited, Dad, I stand to receive the President of the French Republic. You might as well have gone across on a dinghy, I have to
you
say.
might as well for what it was worth.
Well,
Yeah.
because they get the red. Actually, I'm sorry, Rachel. They get the red carpet treatment. So
See.
maybe we could have had Macron. It would have been really funny, though, wouldn't it, if Macron arrived with his wife in a dinghy, overtaking everybody else, and they give him a new mobile phone, and they say, right, we're going to take you to a hotel. Be really
We're going to
fun,
take you to
wouldn't
the
it?
hotel. You're going to start work on Deliveroo,
Yeah.
Just Eat, Uber Eats, and then we're going to blame the companies entirely for something that's our doing. Oh, I went there.
I mean, come on. Whatever you all think of the politics of what's going on in the country, it would have been a
Yeah,
laugh. It could have been funny.
it
In
would have
fact,
been.
Yeah, sometimes we need a laugh. It's important. I mean, what comedies do you watch? Now, this one did not have me laughing. I'm sure they make these things to make you laugh. I haven't been to one. I don't know. I have no problem. This is Gallifrey Cabaret, everybody. We're all Doctor Who fans here, and you can see two shots there where basically you've got Donna Noble, Missy, Ian, and Barbara, and a Dalek from the Dalek invasion. It's Doctor Who.
That's supposed to be done another one.
We can do jokes. We're
Oh, okay.
humour. What were we going to say, Rachel?
No, I said, is that supposed to be Donna Noble on the left?
It is, yes.
Should
Did
have
you not?
shaved.
Did you not recognise?
No, I didn't. That's really bad.
Well, this is it. It's called Gallifrey
I can
Cabaret.
see it now with the jumper, maybe, but
Yeah.
no.
So I wanted to show everybody this because we were just talking about sense of humour then, and whether they are allowed. So they do various things on they call it an adventure in time and space in this one because they did a Newcastle Cabaret recently. You can see various characters there that I've not really seen in Doctor Who. I'm not quite sure if I've seen some of them. I recognise the Dalek, and it looks as though it's a theatre performance, as you know well. But this is the thing, Rachel.
Yeah, this is where it gets sticky.
The reason I'm saying this, Rachel, is if I had gone to see you in any of the productions you were in,
Yeah,
plays, musicals, whatever,
yeah,
and especially if it's a musical or play I've heard of, a title that's recognizable, then I know what I'm going to see and hear.
yeah.
If I go and see a comedian, I know that they'll trigger you, they'll make you laugh, and all the rest of it, and that's what we want. Gallifrey Cabaret, I assume, are trying to do a mixture of those things. But then at the end, to do that, if I was in the audience and I had a problem with one or two of those issues, it's as if you're ambushing the topic Doctor Who to then put stuff into the agenda that isn't expected as part of the performance. It says an adventure in time and space, basically.
Yeah, yeah. And if it's not what you're expecting, you'd be a bit miffed, won't you? More than just a bit miffed, you'd be wanting your money back.
Now, being on the outside of this agenda, Rachel, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm in the thick of the LGBTQ community. They're all behind me. Can you see? They're all
I
there.
can see
They're
them.
all
They're
there.
queuing
Yeah.
out the door.
I'm the centerpiece of the community. Right? But why is it? Do you understand? Do you understand when you see it and you talk about it on your channel? LGBTQ community and Palestine all in the same sentence. Do you get it?
No, I don't, because if they went out there, they'd be toast. So I just don't understand why they would do that.
And if it's a Gallifrey Cabaret, hello everybody, Cabaret, the hint is in the title. You watch a cabaret, you normally associate it with late night Soho, actually, Cabaret, that vibe. And then suddenly all these flags appear. I'm not,
Yeah.
That's political, that's heavy, that's
Yeah,
dry, that's
yeah.
boring. I don't know. I don't know what you think, Rachel. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, look, I'll show you that photograph earlier. There's a Dalek meeting, say, the Doctor. Yeah, okay. You'll see Donna Noble's in it, Missy's in it. There's Daleks and Ian Chesterton. It's Doctor Who. It's a parody, if that's what you want to call it. But then, why does that bit happen?
Because it's ideological, I suppose. That's what it is. And it's activism. If they don't go in and show that this is what we stand for, then they're going to be cancelled. Yeah, I reckon they'd be scared of being cancelled, scared of perhaps not knowing what people would say, the strong activists. So they do things like this. I don't know. I'd like to get into their heads and analyze how their minds go about applying this to their work. Something that has technically nothing to do with their work.
Well, it's got nothing to do with Doctor Who, let's be frank. It's got nothing to do with Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
We know, and we will discuss part of that tonight, the queering up of Doctor Who by certain individuals, when actually it's supposed to be about, time and space adventures. You're taking some of our characters and obviously doing an LGBT filter on it. Okay, even if you buy into all that, if you bought tickets to this, Rachel, I think that's what you're expecting. But I don't think, and I think this is what I mean. They talk about trigger warnings and they warn you when you go to the theatre sometimes if there's a certain moment or there's a certain event or there's strobe
Yeah.
lighting. You get warnings about 70s TV programmes.
Mm.
But if I was sat in row 7 and I'm watching some daft humour about Doctor Who, and I'm in the LGBT community, so I'm expecting all that, and then I get the flags and stuff at the end. I feel as though, hold on a minute, you're ambushing an event I've paid for to do something else with it.
Well, that's what they do when they do those kinds of things. That's why they do it. You know, they do it for points. They do it for props. They do it out of fear of being cancelled. And at the end of the day, people just want to be entertained. They don't necessarily want to see this, do they? I mean, what the flags at the end? They don't
No,
want to necessarily see that.
no, and thanks those who are joining us. It's lovely when we're live, isn't it, Rachel? We can actually
Yeah.
respond to them. Divas, Dinosaurs and Demons. That's a nice title, isn't it? Doctor Who is synonymous with LGBT activism these days. Well, that is true these days, yes. It's sad, but it is entirely 100% the fault of certain fans. You're saying Big Finish is one of them. I don't know where it started. I mean, have you got any? Can you see where this all started to creep in, Rachel?
What, with Big Finish or with
With just the whole agenda.
what, just in general?
Well, Doctor Who, the agenda, when it started to
Mm.
creep back in, because it predates RTD.
Yeah, it does predate RTD. But if you're talking about sort of like the in your face agenda messaging, it's definitely 2005 onwards.
Yeah, I mean that's why we all kind of New Who to me is synonymous with we take Doctor Who into a
It's
slightly different place.
I tell you what it is. It's nowhere near as bad as 2005. I think when you get perhaps like Bill Potts announcing that she is a lesbian, that she's gay, that every story, and then you merge that into and go into Jodie, that's when it gets a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, well, it seems, as I said on a recent stream, we've had a gay doctor since 2017 because the 14th Doctor, David Tennant, was talking about fancying Isaac Newton.
Mm-hmm.
We had Shooty's Doctor, and Jodie fancied Yaz. So, you know,
Which came completely left field.
it did. So we're all Doctor Who fans. Gallifrey Cabaret. Can you imagine your mum or dad or somebody gets it for your birthday, and you go, "Oh well, it's Doctor Who. Yeah, it's got a bit of a slant, but go on, we'll have a laugh." You go there, and then suddenly you get all these different flags. I mean, Rachel. I mean, it's not just the Palestine flag. Yes, I happen to be gay, and I have to say, I happen to be gay. I'm not part of any community, but that flag, which has been changed and doctored and
Yeah.
messed with. I'm sorry, but that speaks to nobody I know. That I'm sorry, but people are just playing silly games here. And do you know what, Rachel? They always go on about inclusivity, and
Mhm.
yet they want to say this bit of it is special. We're special.
I,
We're
s-
this.
I sometimes find that when people want to go on about inclusivity, if I said that correctly, yeah, um, that they're quite often exclusive and they exclude a whole load of people. That's what I find. Do you know, I've got I've got a friend who's also gay, and I was just so happened to be out with his partner one day, and we were talking about the trans flag and how, well, not the trans flag, sorry, the pride flag, excuse
Yeah.
me, and how it just kept changing and changing and changing. And he says like it's not really synonymous so much so now with him anymore, because like, and I said to him, well, yeah, because how far do you take something like this before it becomes absolutely pointless or out of control? Or I mean,
I,
look at it.
Yeah, this is it, and people are taking the mick already. Garbage, our
Yeah.
moderator's taking the mick because he's saying Brendan's got he's gone to the future because the one on the right says 18th of July 2025. I know that's the Manchester one. The one on the left is already happened. So yes, they're going around the country, so that's why.
Well, I'd like to ask the chat, what would you do if we started introducing the pride flag or the trans flag or the Palestine flag into, well, either Brendan's channel or my channel? What would you do?
And we'll do little party political broadcasts for 30 seconds. So instead of holding a flag, we just go, and this is the party we support. Oh, can you
Yeah.
imagine that? Whoa.
I think the
Um,
closest I'd get to is this book is gay and what the tea. I've still got those over there. I haven't taken them back yet.
oh, look at that. Who's telling me that? Benidorm has warnings on it now, says Dark Hall. You
Has
know,
it?
I mean, Benidorm's like, I don't know, it's postcard humor, really, for God's sake. I mean, God, the world's going mad. So anyway, I thought, and my last point on this, Rachel, because it dovetails with a lot of stuff in the woke agenda, which is
Mm.
if I wanted to be very woke, if I decided that's how I want to present myself, and I do think a bit of it's performative.
Yeah, of
um,
course it is. Yeah.
I'm gay. Oh no,
Mhm.
sorry, queer. I'm queer. I'm all for the Palestinian cause. I'm all for this. I'm all for that. Basically, there's a set you have to have. There's the full set, I think, isn't it? There's certain. It's as if you don't have to have a brain, and you just have to say these are all the progressive issues I need to kind of collect
Labels.
as a Cub Scout and get all the badges, and then I am the wokest of the woke.
It's labels.
Yeah,
Labels.
virtue
That's what it
signals.
is. Yeah. I mean,
Um,
my labels are qualifications.
Well, it was really funny when we went to Belfast recently, Rachel. I hadn't been to that visit round Belfast, so of course you went to the Unionist part of Belfast,
Hmm.
and you saw the Israel flag, right? You
Right.
go
Okay.
you go to the
Yeah.
Catholic part of Belfast and you see the Palestinian flag and you think, oh right, this is a lot of different causes all bundled together, which is if you do that one, we'll go for this. Do you see what I mean?
Mm.
It yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
They
this
they
worried
use
me.
it.
So if everybody sees how I'm segueing here, everybody, okay, Gallifrey Cabaret, fill your boots if you want to watch it, whatever. But
Yeah.
there's more of an agenda than Doctor Who going on there, and I think it is unfair if you actually didn't expect those flags at the end because you might have a strong opinion. I mean, what if you're Jewish, for God's sake, and you sat enjoying your Doctor Who Cabaret, and then suddenly you get. I don't know. I think it's just tasteless, really. And it's got nothing to do with Doctor Who. Um, and then we've got what RTD said recently, and you see, you join the dots. I think it was just like staging the proper LGBT side of everything by 1%, nudging it by 1% in that direction. You also have to look at what the others are doing. I find a lot of the other science fiction franchises very straight, very masculine, very testosterone. And so our space is in Doctor Who's to do something different. You did a show on it, I did a show on it, I think the world's done a show on it. There's a couple of things here, agendas, and what relevance has it got?
None. It's got none. It's got none to do with Doctor Who. I just want to be entertained. That's all, really. And like, if you're gonna put this in, I've said it so many times. I'm gonna sound like a stuck record. You just gotta integrate it into the plot naturally. Like the Daleks. The Daleks. What are they an allegory for? We know what they are for. What they represent.
Palestine. Paul,
Well, in
Paul
this
Ashworth.
case, probably,
Paul Ashworth
but
here, thank you.
originally the Nazi Party, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Mm.
What the hell has Palestine got to do with Daleks? Well,
Well,
there's your point, and you have mentioned Daleks, so I'll be really kind and do this. Oh,
well,
thanks, Paul.
that face
Stephen
was terrifying.
Stephen Braddock, the world has gone woke. The sensory is a sensible, safe space of common sense. We don't get angry really
No,
either. I
not
mean, to be
really.
quite honest, we
No.
just discuss it. Common sense applied, I think, is what everybody needs to do, and nobody should be cancelled for saying it either.
No.
Um, we're not trying to trigger anybody. We're just saying why. In fact, I think that's the question I've been asking a
Co-
lot. Why?
Common sense applied, agree to disagree, and just try and discuss everything with well-reasoned discussion. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody is wrong.
No. So when you discussed it on your channel and when you saw this quotation and when I was putting it together on mine, I was thinking, right, it's interesting because Rachel, representing an opposite gender to mine,
Mm.
um, sci-fi. You've liked sci-fi, Did you like sci-fi when it was what we call it classic Who, or have you liked it more now? It's got a more, well, RTD would say a more feminized agenda now.
No, I preferred classic, and I still prefer classic any day. Any day.
So do you think, honestly, these people who are running these shows, Star Trek, etc., do you think they're getting something? They're getting the female audience wrong.
I think so. I think they're trying to cater to something that's not there. And they're trying to get people hooked into it. So with the agenda for the LGBT side of it, they're trying to hook people in that might not be interested in Doctor Who, but in that sort of niche area, that area, if you know what I mean. But like if I apply myself to that, sorry, no, scratch that. So like back in 2005, they made it sort of a bit more soapy, didn't they? And their target audience was probably trying to get women to watch it as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I say that I did not care much for the soap stuff in it. I just wanted straight up Doctor Who, the sci-fi storytelling, what it was meant to be. But obviously, it's never going to be exactly the same as classic, and I accept that. But
I wonder if, I mean, part of my kind of feeling tonight is to play devil's advocate a bit too.
hmm.
While we're thinking, oh, well, they think they know what females want, or we have to cater for a female audience, not just a male audience. That I mean, they shouldn't divide it like that because of, for example, what Rachel's just said. But the other issue is it possible they're trying to find a gap in the market and expand their base? So basically, they knew it was mostly a male dominated sci-fi, male dominated, but
Hmm.
not exclusive. And what they're trying to do is just broaden their base. They're just trying to find the gap in the market.
It, there is that as well. That could very well be that. You never know truly what's going on in their heads, but the way they've gone about it certainly doesn't tell me that at all.
Well, no, well, the thing, I mean, we're going to discuss it tonight, but the thing that gets me is they haven't just said, well, here's some more powerful role models for women. They've actually feminized the male lead. They've ambushed it and completely changed it. And that'll be relevant to us talking about Superman tonight and various other franchises because, I mean, Amazon have said about James Bond, haven't they? That they're going to look into doing a younger Bond. They're going to look at and a more emotional Bond. And you're thinking, why
Mm.
buy a franchise and then say, and now we want to change it?
With it, well, because it doesn't meet what they want to do with it, does it? Really, if you think about it. I mean, things do progress, things do change, but how big do you make those changes as well?
I mean, Rachel, do you
Sometimes they're too big.
over the years you've watched James Bond?
On and off. I haven't watched it religiously, but yes,
Yeah.
I have seen some. Yeah.
Which Bond did you enjoy watching as a woman? And I'm saying that because in the Sean Connery era, he would slap
Mm.
their backsides, I mean, the 60s, he'd slap their backside. Sometimes he could be a bit rough. So could Daniel Craig in the earlier movies, for example. Roger Moore was more of a gentleman. Yeah, all I'm saying
Mm.
is, do you want the new James Bond when they pick it in 2026, 2027 to be hard, clinical. Some women will say that's quite attractive. We don't want them to be all schmarmy and emotional and gushing. What do you want from this James Bond for this era?
I just want James. Well, if I were to watch it, I would just want James Bond to be James Bond. A bit of like Sean Connery, maybe Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan was quite good as James Bond. I thought
Hmm?
that was just an opinion. I didn't go too much of a bundle on um, Daniel Craig, but that's just me. So, you know, you look at the main like facet and you look at what everybody else has done and you think, what am I going to bring to that in addition to what they've done? How do I make it my own? And just perhaps take a little bit of everything and just be James Bond.
Yeah, I mean, he's a killer. He's not supposed to be the ladies' man in the nightclub. Dr. Ricky, a Marvel believed females wanted strong, masculine female characters rather than Chris Hemsworth's pecs. That went well.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
Jess,
like oh, carry on, go on, go on.
no, sorry, I'll just do this one. Hey, Jess again. Very testosterone according to their narrative, a minority with and illusion, compounded by delusions of grandeur, self-importance, and arrogance. Oh, there you go. It sounds like a nice little recipe.
Mm. Yeah, so it's like Batman, isn't it? If you think about the Batman movies, you've obviously got Adam West was it Adam West for the TV show? He was Batman in the TV show, and then they progressed and did some a bit more of a cartoony ones with the Tim Burton movies, and then they progressed and they went darker, but the character pretty much was still fundamentally the same. They didn't change it all that much because they don't need to.
I'm interested in what people are saying. We're getting different Bonds. You know what it's like.
Of
So
course, yeah.
JWC reviews Timothy Dalton was the best Bond. Now he was a bit grittier and more ruthless, I have to say. Obviously Stephen O'Neill. Can we go back to the original Ian Fleming? So basically, no messing.
I'd say that's pretty reasonable request.
Yeah, although J.K. Rowling, we will discuss her later with Snape's. Farsight, Brosnan was more of an emotional Bond. And then, of course, let's go for the set. We've got George Lazenby was the best, says Jeremy. And we will go on because I've mentioned another franchise where nobody ever agrees. So, did you think? I mean, I don't have a ruler, but or calculator, but Doctor Who nudged up 1%
Nah.
in the LGBT direction. I thought it went full whammy. We have both been on the same stream when we've done the same article where it says Shooty and RTD in their interviews for season one were saying this is the queerest Doctor, this is the
Yep.
gayest Doctor.
Yep. Yep. I remember that. And it was.
So if your male lead is going to be gay when before that he was, I'll say, asexual, then that's more than 1%. That's your male lead. At least 2% there, I tell you. So yes,
Oh, three more like.
yeah. So this brings me to the, if you can see where I'm going everywhere tonight, the Gallifrey Cabaret, they obviously, I assume, are Whovians, and they want to do jokes and cabaret about Doctor Who, and then they've added a few agenda items. Then we've got RTD saying what he's done with Doctor Who, and then we talk about what he's done with Doctor Who. And I think I was the most triggered this year, Rachel. Last year it was Rogue, I think.
Yeah.
This year it was A Story in the Engine. And it was again because, and I know everybody loves me to use the word, but it's true. When I was talking to my media source, they had a lot to say about this.
I'm
They
not
had a
surprised.
they had a lot to say about the fact that, have you been to Nigeria? How dangerous it is in Nigeria. How there's people on the streets dead because they're gay. And that actually to then write this hocus pocus narrative about a barber's shop where a very gay, feminized doctor can have a great butch chat with other butch men and have a lovely time. RTD, I'm sorry, you can't do that. Just can't do it.
Well, no. And what kind of message does that send out to anyone who is gay and watching this? That it's okay to go to Nigeria? that it's safe to go to Nigeria for them.
But why do we then? I mean, Rachel, it's a good one tonight because we're Doctor Who fans and we can just think, what has this era been all about? When we had
I
Conrad
don't
Clark,
know.
Conrad Clark, the baddie is a conspiracy theorist online. The baddie in Robot Revolution was a lad who did microaggressions with his girlfriend. They're the real baddies according to RTD and
Mm.
anybody who doesn't like his agenda. And yet he's gone and told us lies and absolute mistruths in a narrative about something that kills people like him and me. I
Yeah,
just
and he let that carry on. He commissioned it and let it carry on.
and I totally get it in the way that okay, he wouldn't get Rob Sheeman for like Dalek, he won't get Paul Cornell, he won't get, and I could list loads of good Doctor Who writers out there,
Mm.
Gareth, etc. He went for a writer who had written a stage play, The Barbershop Chronicles,
Yep.
and he said, "Can you do a Barbershop Chronicles with Doctor Who?" That's bit of a funny one, but anyway, that's what they did. And suddenly you can see how conflicted the writer is, who said he'd never been given a TV commission for 10 years. And so this was his big moment. And so he writes this story about a fictional version of Nigeria.
I know. I mean, he's obviously got to follow orders. He's got to give RTD what he wants, but it's just like he would know. Shooty would know. RTD knows that these things happen in Nigeria. I think it's just very bad. And I think very bad's an understatement.
Well, I mean, I didn't look into it deeply. The title, The Story in the Engine, and we all know there was the barbershop on the spider's back, and the power of stories, wasn't it, Rachel? The power
Yeah.
of stories.
Like visually, that that story, visually was pretty good actually. I liked all the animation and all of that, but the misinformation behind it, nah.
Well, you see, their big signal that was they were, their big virtue they were signaling was that the power of stories in cultures, the power of them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah.
go, okay, stories in a barber shop, stories about different cultures.
Yeah.
And yet, the whole essence of that Doctor Who story was an untruth, a lie of a story that Nigeria is a beautiful place, hugs everybody. And, I mean, it was made worse, Rachel, as you know, because the dialogue, unfortunately, played into even more. It wasn't just like, oh, well, Nigeria's a nice place. My body changes a lot, said Shooty. It's the first time I've had this black body in some parts of this earth. I'm now treated differently. But here in Africa, which is fascinating because that's a continent. Here in the whole continent of Africa, in that barber shop, I'm accepted. I'm able to forget. We laugh, we tell stories. They treat me like one of their own, says Belinda. And of course, when we've done this and talked about this, we said what we said, but the agenda is really starting to peeve me off, Rachel, because to, there's just not one truth there at all. It
Mhm.
seems to me we're saying the big thing is being black, and people are maybe racist about his skin color. But the thing is, the Shooty doctor was always more than being black. He was also a gay doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'm sorry, but it's like they've picked, bit like I've done this today, everybody. Gallifrey Cabaret. Can you just do nice Doctor Who jokes and cabaret? No, no, we're going to do Palestine as well. Why? How does that
Makes
fit?
makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know why they do these things really. I will say one thing about the story and the engine, and probably some other things that we've had in the last couple of series with Russell T Davies at the helm, is that Doctor Who's one of Doctor Who's original like premises was premise was the fact that it was a historical educational show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So why are we putting lies into it?
It's a very good question, and all
Be-
those makers, Rachel, of the
yeah,
60s and the 70s Doctor Who, especially all those historicals, will go. John Lucarotti would
yeah.
go, "Whoa, you can put any old crap in." All right.
I wish I'd known that at the time because that's what I would have done.
Yeah, I would have actually not done any research and maybe leaned back on stereotypes. There you go. That's the future of the planet, stereotypes and lazy writing.
Yeah. No, we should. Do you remember when you? Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. Excuse me. I'm going to switch the camera off. But do you remember when when you pulled up some pictures of a Capaldi scene? I can't remember from which story it
Oh, yes.
was,
Yes.
and all of the extras in
Yep.
the background, a lot of them were just people of color, Asian, and all of that.
Yep.
Historically, that's not factually correct, given the premise of what Doctor Who started as, right?
Yep.
So technically, that's a lie. Why are they not just creating perhaps a historical piece that's set in a different country?
But isn't it
It,
funny that we have to tell untruths really about Britain's history sometimes, but everything has to be depicted differently as to how it
mm,
was. And I said at the time that when they wanted to depict Lagos in Doctor Who, it
yeah,
had to look very black because it is black,
of course,
Brendan.
of course.
And you go, all right, but if you do it in another country, you have to
Yeah,
do all this strange
yeah.
casting.
But I tell you what, see, I noticed even more about the story in the engine was obviously the majority of the cast were black, but because they have to meet with the standards of equality, they have to have a scene with at least one white person in it to have that representation of the white person. So yeah, I just find that interesting.
Yeah, you mean that right near the beginning?
Yeah,
There was
right
a
near the beginning, there's like a flashback, isn't there, or
yeah,
something?
yeah.
And there's an old lady who Belinda saved or something.
Now, Jeremy, I think he's trying to get he's trying to get ticket. No, he's not. He's checking out
Eh,
Gallifrey Cabaret in Manchester, and he said it's sold out. And Jeremy, this is the thing. I mean, you can be a Doctor Who fan, but you'd have to be happy with the agenda you're going to get sold. I mean, no theatre ticket is going to be cheap nowadays, and if you go and they ram politics down your throat, I think that's a dangerous one. When actually escapism. Doctor Who is about escapism. I'm going to the theatre to watch some Gallifrey Cabaret, escapism plus laughs. And you've put the Palestine flag up there. I mean, oh God, talk about making it heavy. Wow.
oh yeah, way too heavy. Way too heavy.
Too heavy.
I'm
We
glad
watch
it's not
Doctor Who
too
to
heavy.
forget.
Yeah, that's why you go to the theatre and well, I I guess they did it, so it's open to criticism if they do it.
Yeah. Dongo, I was at the doctor's the other day and the receptionist noticed my Dalek t-shirt and said, I love Doctor Who. Do you like the new show? I know. I'd love for you to be able to almost do a voice message. I'd love to know the intonation. I replied, no. And she replied, no, me neither. It's crap, isn't it? I was at Michael Herbert's 70th last week. Happy birthday, Michael.
Yeah,
And
happy birthday.
him and his friends do tune in on this walk show. And they kind of poked me and Jamie and said they're Doctor Who fans, like they're there. No, but and oh, do you like Doctor Who? And you feel embarrassed to say you do now. And then all of them, lots of different people in scattered in the birthday party. When they mentioned Doctor Who, because they felt as though they had to, they all said, "Oh yeah, it used to be all right. I don't know the last time I watched it." Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. So the agenda doesn't work, RTD. There was more than a room full of people who had seen Doctor Who in the past, but don't watch it now. You've just said another one, Domgo. I mean, let's add all these people together. It's a bit of a worrying sign. So
Well,
we've got that
just a
one.
bit.
And then, of course, I mean, how many agenda items did we have this year? Belinda joined in as well. In some parts of the earth, I'm now treated differently. And it's so funny how we're splitting each other apart. I mean, I can't say Rachel is just one thing and just another. You have to judge Rachel and me as the full person. Northern, southern, male, female, actor, this. I mean, it goes on and on and on, as everybody knows who's got common sense. But how can you split being black with being gay for the shooty doctor? It just. And is it the inclusivity argument, Rachel, that you cover a lot on your walk channel as well about inclusivity is so exclusive?
It's very exclusive. It's just like we're doing this because we want, and we don't care what you say. If you don't like it, you're a hater. You're this. You're that. You're this. And it's like, okay, well, I just won't watch, and we'll just see what happens, won't we? I had someone comment on something the other day, and they said, "Doctor Who's not for you." Excuse
Oh,
me.
yeah.
What?
Yes. Yeah, because
Okay.
it's a platform now, and we don't want you on our platform. This
No,
is what I mean.
because I won't prescribe to what they want me to prescribe to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just won't do it.
So
Do
this
that.
is my starter for 10. There's Lagos. They tried to depict Lagos properly. Obviously, that's a proper shot. But they wouldn't do that with London. They want to mix it up now. But anyway, so it's the first time I've had this black body. I'm just reminding everybody of that pain. And I just want to make sure, for the sake of being truthful, you want to look it up. LGBTQ, blah, blah, blah. Nigerians recount police abuses under weaponized law. This is the truth, the true story, RTD, that you didn't want to say, even though you say you're bothered about gay rights. If you're bothered about gay rights, why did you not show this? Nigerian police beating people, forcing them to pay a bribe to avoid arrest for looking gay.
Wow.
It's that bad. Bloodied by a strike with the butt of a police gun to his mouth, this young lad said he pleaded with the officers to let him go, but he was only freed after paying almost half of the 50,000 naira the officers demanded. Lagos police did not respond to a request for comment on the incident, which occurred at a certain time after he left the choir rehearsal at his church. Church going lad. I'm used to getting stares when I walk down my street because I look and sometimes dress feminine. Now, I'm using this quote for obvious reasons, everybody. You've seen Doctor Who the 15th and what he wears. Being gay in Nigeria is a double-edged sword. Society hates you and the police exploit that hate. Rachel, how can RTD live with himself?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask him, seeing as he's watching. RTD, how can you live for yourself?
Well,
Oh,
yeah, you're
sorry.
this big gay guru. You know, I go down Canal Street and people kind of get very physically excited, darling. I go down Canal Street and everybody knows me. I go down Canal
Her.
Street and I'm writing another drama about Canal Street now. You know, he thinks he's some sort of gay savior. Well, if that's where his heart is, no problem. The trouble is the execution is all over the place.
Yeah, he's written better things than this. But I mean, obviously the Story in the Engine, he didn't write it, but overall he's written better things than what he's written here.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That are not
So,
so all over the place.
so everybody, don't worry. I'm just making sure there's facts in this rather than stereotypes that Gallifrey. You know, it just goes on and on and on. Um, so yes, it's not a very good country at all, and that's a euphemism by half. Nigeria is one of more than 30 of Africa's 54 countries where homosexuality is criminalized in laws, many of them leading to death. So can I just remind everybody of that quotation from our program that, as Rachel quite rightly said, once used to say it was educational. But here in Africa, I'm accepted. 30 out of 54 countries. Yeah, yeah, get over yourself, mate.
Can I tell you something? You know, I read the Juno Dawson books.
Yes.
Juno Dawson lists the areas where it's illegal to be gay or trans in those books. So actual educational bit in those books is listed, and Nigeria is on that list.
Are they not joining the dots? Because the story in the engine is what, one episode or so before we got the Interstellar Song
Oh,
Contest.
well,
I
yeah,
mean,
they could have just asked Juno Dawson. Juno's done all the research.
they'll have all been in the same room at some point. They'll have all been in a WhatsApp
Yeah.
chat.
Although I would say, in a way, should have known, really, shouldn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
But if he's got to do something, he's got to do it if he wants that paycheck.
He is, but that's when please don't ever, ever give me messages that you're an advocate for
Yeah.
anything because you
And
can't pick what you advocate and what you just ignore.
that's where the problems begin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If everybody backed down and stopped saying, by the way, I campaigned on this issue, aren't I glorious? When actually, well, yeah, but the other one you turned a blind eye to, which is relevant to what I've just got here. There are numerous instances in Nigeria of these hate crimes occurring. That's the killing of gay men. The government continues to turn a blind eye while the public cheers these criminals on who kill them. For the Nigerian non-gays, the death of a gay person is good news to society. Some call it God's work. And not one split second of the Doctor Who dialogue referenced that. And this is the great RTD, the great campaigner.
Because this is what they want it to be. This is what they want Nigeria to look like. This is how they think Nigeria should change. I sometimes wonder whether they get on these political, ideological stomping grounds because they want to get countries to change their ways.
Well, isn't it funny? Because if they depicted Britain, it sometimes is to guilt or shame the past. If they depict modern Nigeria, they make it look like it's Disneyland for gays.
Ha.
Lies and lies and lies and lies. I really don't know. Can we just have some scripts, please, that actually make some sense? So sorry, that really does rile me. And obviously everybody knows when I did Who Night and the Sundays, I've got all the details there. But the other daft little thing in this story in the engine, which we didn't give much play to at the time, you know that moment with his other black mate, you know, because they're all black in Africa and they all support each other, unlike in other countries, is what the shooty doctor said. You planned this, Omo. I have to get these men home. And because I have no home, I'm what? I'm expendable. There was that moment when the 15th Doctor kicked off with his friend from the barber shop and said, you betrayed me. And the Doctor seemed to go from being alien, who's above it all, right down to you betrayed me. I thought we started this story saying in the barber shop everybody's all in it together and it's a great bastion of malehood and loyalty, and then suddenly we're betraying each other, even though we're the same colour.
Well, maybe it's because he's gay. So they sold him out.
Maybe this, yeah, no, there may be sussed it. You're onto it, Rachel. You're onto it. There was a subtle subtext.
Yes. I'm on
But
it.
isn't it funny? The story is only 45 minutes long. It starts by saying some people are racist, basically, it insinuates. And then later on, because they're judging me by the colour of my skin, and then later on, when you're the same colour, you're betraying each other. Inconsistent script.
Do you know? I wonder how well this would have gone down had this appeared in the season 1 like it was supposed to. I think it would have been 10 times worse.
Well, actually, Anaya, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Anaya Ellams, who wrote this story, said you really should watch Dot and Bubble and Story in the Engine back to back. He actually thinks they bookend each other.
Well, that would make sense. It was scheduled originally for the first series, wasn't it? I didn't just imagine that being said.
Oh God, that's two heavy race stories in a row. God Almighty, yeah, that's escapism. Now this is Anaya Ellams, and so when he was asked about, writing Almost Palace, the barber shop, how was it to explore this side of the character? Well, I wrote this episode kind of in conversation with season one's Dot and Bubble. Lots of people who have seen that episode get what it's about. The Doctor's anger and frustration at the end. It's why he needs a place like the barber shop, but it's also why he feels so emotional about Omo's betrayal. It hits really deeply. I often want to suggest that people watch Dot and Bubble and Story in the Engine back to back to really understand what the Doctor is feeling here, his sense of need, and what Lagos means to him. Oh, gee. The opening scene. Sorry, go on, Rachel, go on.
Oh no, I just said, oh man.
On it. The opening scene when the doctor walks through the market and is in utter joy. I cried when I saw the rushes because it just clicked. It's what I miss and love about returning to Nigeria. So understanding that need within the doctor and seeing it play out on screen was humbling.
But
Again,
he's queer, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. How can he be queer and love this depiction then? Because he's big. Rachel, I'm gonna say it. The story had the doctor very angry because he was betrayed by Omo, and yet the writers of Doctor Who are betraying the people they're supposed to be bloody supporting.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Really?
Not a very accurate depiction of it, is there?
Oh, it's bloody appalling. I
And
mean,
I'm just gonna say this: I will never watch Dot and Bubble again. Right?
really? What, you mean you won't, as an actress, you don't want to see that amazing scene at the end when RTD said he acted his socks off?
No.
I mean, he acted his socks off. It was one of the most powerful. It was one of the most powerful moments in Doctor Who, didn't you know?
I've seen Shooty do better.
Yeah, he's done a sleep scene and stuff like that.
No, don't get me started on Wish World.
No, it wasn't his wish. Oh God! So here we go. Since these segues, they all go together, you know. So Anaya Ellam's here. We all remember this one. I'm just going to go to that Instagram post, which actually doesn't exist now. That's interesting, isn't it? Can't find it anywhere.
What, he deleted it?
Well, it seemed I can't find it. I had this stored, so I did want to
Okay.
use it. So of course it's in the, if everyone can see, it's the chunky paragraph. I've always loved the show. I've been watching it since 10. Da, da, da. It's about a displaced refugee from a war-torn planet who arrives on Earth with a screwdriver. Now oh yeah, and like so many good immigrants, that he's called the doctor and he alleviates pain and everything. Right. So we've discussed that before. I'm not doing repeats. But this kind of dovetails, Rachel, with, is there some sort of world agenda going on? Because James Gunn's Superman has been received in different ways by different people, and they've said that James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that came from outer place and how we've lost the value of basic human kindness. Is James Gunn
No.
RTD's brother? What is going on?
What's going on here?
I feel as though the media just say, right, well, obviously Palestine, we have to mention Palestine at every ceremony. We've got to mention queer rights in every ceremony, which what they mean is trans rights.
Mhm.
We've got to mention, because I've got all the rights I need. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm very happy. So I don't know what this, with all these rights they're waffling on about. Um, so yeah, you see a writer for Doctor Who say Doctor Who is a refugee and he's a good immigrant and blah blah blah, which we all remember from discussing. And then you see the latest Superman producer saying Superman is an immigrant.
Yeah,
It's like,
I heard a whisper that this is what he said. Now, I've not made a video on it because I've kind of missed the sort of algorithm for it. But whenever I watched Superman as a child, because I watched the TV series, I never got that impression.
no, no, no.
Never did.
Immigrant. I've been an immigrant to Australia.
Oh, yeah, I
You have,
was an immigrant to Japan.
yes.
Hmm.
Did you have to apply and show how much money you had in the bank? And did you have to do special medicals and pay for them yourself? And did you have to do a points test? And did you have to promise not to use the benefit system for 2 years? Oh, yes, that's only me. Right, okay, right. Hello, is Britain hearing that? That's what I had to do. Commit to paying for everything myself. Because
Yeah.
that's what a good immigrant does.
So what I had to do was obviously I had to obtain my visa myself. I had to pay for my flights myself. I had to, for the first, I think it was like the first year, I had to pay for my own health insurance. I had to think what it was called then. I had to pay for my own health insurance, and then I became eligible then for a different type of health insurance once I stayed there a
Mm.
lot longer. But I still had to pay my medical bills and all of that. I
Yeah.
wasn't allowed any kind of preferential treatment or anything like that. No. Nothing like that.
And what we have both said is called fact, and is and I heard Keir Starmer say when he was talking with Macron, and he said this whole debate is about fairness. Listen to what Rachel's just said as an immigrant to Japan, and what I've just said as an immigrant to Australia, and then think, is what we do in this country in comparison, meaning there's a fairness about? I'm just asking the question.
Well,
Um,
I'll tell you what happened when I came back, if that's any consolation. So when I came back, because I'd been away for so long, I couldn't obviously get a house or get a place to live immediately unless I did like emergency housing. And then when I went to return to working with children, because I hadn't been in the country for 5 years, I didn't have any like CRB, DCB check, whatever it is they call it at the moment. I don't know what it is they call it. So I had to apply for one from Japan. That took months to come through.
yeah. So
Months. And it cost me a fair whack of cash as well.
So, I think it's important to make the debate healthy that everybody understands that it's not the same when you go elsewhere.
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
not.
Oh, no.
It's
So,
not.
since I'm a taxpayer in Britain, am I allowed to say I have an opinion on this? If you just have a look, James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that comes from out of place. So, let's have a look at it because Joe Chapman, who was on our show yesterday, has watched Superman twice, and she said it was kind of middling to a bit better. And she
Yeah.
said it wasn't all these things. Have you seen it, Rachel?
I've not seen it. I haven't seen many other Superman movies, but I have heard that it is mid to a little bit better, like Joe has said.
Yeah. In his Sunday profile with the Times, the DC Studios head went deep on the themes and ideas that drive this highly anticipated Superman. He explained that the superhero epic encompasses the story of America. Oh, well, I think I can guess where we're going here. And
Mhm.
at a basic level, it's about a man searching for a better life from his original home. Well, yeah, in that way, you can say Superman. Yeah, he's not at home, so he's kind of adopted by this elderly couple in a way. Um, I mean, Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says, right. I think there's two things that can be right. That I haven't seen Superman either, but I will listen to people who have watched it and are saying actually it's not as people are depicting. He's done a disservice by talking like that because I don't think it is using a fully woke agenda at all, but
No.
he's making it sound woke and acceptable.
Yeah, and he's doing that to get those people who act on that, the activists, to go in and watch it or be like, yes, brownie points, score, win, win, win. Hollywood woke extreme. That's what it is.
It's but you see, isn't it funny that Doctor Who is an immigrant, Superman is an immigrant.
Well,
Neither of those words are true, and and it's unnecessary to say. If you want to say, and by the way, I'm a writer, a producer who's bothered about the immigration agenda and policy, we'll do that separately. But don't conflate and say the Doctor Who character has always been an immigrant and a refugee. No, he's an exile, a wanderer in the fourth dimension. Will you please go and look at the bloody script of An Unearthly Child, you wafflers?
I tell you something. If you were to ask any of the actors in the past who've played like Superman, James Bond, or Doctor Who, what they thought the character was, guaranteed it would be the complete opposite of what's being said here.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And again, it's too heavy. I mean, yeah, it's Marvel for God's sake. I mean, it's not supposed to be, some great kind of thesis on America, is it? James
No,
Gunn needs to get his facts straight, says Jess. Superman's parents put him into a capsule and sent him out. He could have landed on any inhabited planet. Well, it's a good job he landed on Earth, where they were very accepting and he was the right colour skin when he landed. Because remember, it could have been an awful lot worse if he landed in the dot and bubble world or landed in the story in the engine world. It's just I think the Doctor Who world is much more dangerous.
I think so.
Anyway, so there you go. But I have heard everybody, if you're thinking of going to see it, that the man who's made it has done a disservice to his own project because he's adding a kind of woke waffle on top when I've understood it's kind of okay.
Is it Henry Cavill who's still? Is it
No,
Henry Cavill? Is it? Oh, they changed
yeah, it's
Superman now.
changed again. He's regenerated. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that this is an old picture from Guardians of Galaxy, but that's James Gunn on the left. Um, and of course, it really did kick off then because he got headlines. He did a JNT, he did an RTD. He got the headlines by
But
not really saying what the movie's about.
he got the headlines for the wrong reason.
Again,
Yeah. It's like people think that it gets you the right sort of attention, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that, right? So when JNT said what he said, like any controversial things that he might have said, because I'm a wretched millennial, so I wouldn't know. What was the general reaction to that? Was it positive? Was it just like neutral? Was it really negative?
I don't know.
Did it
Don't know.
work? Clearly not. It got cancelled, but did it work?
Well, Stephen Braddock's seen Superman today and said he liked it. So there you
Oh,
go. And it
that's
was a
good.
crowded cinema.
That's
I
good.
want to be fair. It's just James Gunn hasn't been fair about his own project, really. Gunn acknowledged that the movie's themes may be interpreted differently across different political groups. Oh. Especially considering the current national unrest in America. Oh, you see, because there's an
Oh,
immigration debate and Donald Trump's in, and all the
that's
Hollywood
why.
producers don't like
That's
Donald Trump,
why.
they have to mention immigration to do with Superman. I get it. You've ambushed Superman. That's what you're saying. However, Gunn stands by the ideals embedded in Superman and added that he doesn't care if anyone takes offense. Oh, that sounds like somebody I've heard before. Don't
That
touch the
yeah,
grass.
yeah. But they do care. They've got to care because they won't get employed if they don't.
Oh, I just love. Are these all born somewhere? Are these all clones, everybody? Because RTD and James Gunn sound as though they go to the same bar and have the same hymn sheet and they read the same Bible of woke agenda because they're using the same language, they have the same storyline. Although somebody did say in the thread earlier, no, Superman's better than Doctor Who, so you can't conflate there. John Yulden, I don't know if you've seen it yet. I think you're going to see it, aren't you? You can bet any money when the barbarians are at the gate, the activists will desperately be trying to find those strong male individuals to protect them. Oh, no, but there's no border. Even King Charles said there's no borders. Remember? There's no borders, so there's nothing to fight over. There you go.
Oh my goodness, that's probably the wrong thing. That was a bit politically charged for
It
a
was,
monarch.
he was given a speech written by, yeah. And
Yeah.
trouble is, sometimes he does have to read it out, but yeah,
It
that's
was a
not.
government speech.
Yes, and Keir Starmer shouldn't have put him in that position.
No.
So yes, it kicked off about Superman. Yes, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness, and obviously there will be jerks out there, oh why, who are just not kind and will take it as offensive just because it's about kindness. But screw them. I'm touching.
How about don't say anything. Let people go and find out for themselves and see what they think it is.
Are you getting Rachel Ziegler vibes again?
Just a little bit.
I mean, what is it? They make a movie, they add their filter, their heavily confected filter on top, and then they say, and if you don't like it, it's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, yeah,
I know.
yeah. They're attaching political stuff that doesn't need to be attached to the promotion of a project, and that's a problem. And that's exactly what Rachel Zegler did.
Yeah.
She she promoted the movie in some way in a tweet, and then added an add-on that said "Free Palestine." That
Ugh,
didn't go down well. That
nah.
really didn't, and she got into a lot of trouble with Disney because of that.
Hasler Scott,
Right.
thank you. But as you may have heard me since, you made the comment that I am being fair on it because I've heard Jo. She's the only person I know who's seen Superman, and she's
Mm.
said it was fine.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about it. So
Yeah. It's just why is their producer saying something completely different?
I
Brendan, you
don't know.
should really see the movie. It's not woke at all. We'd all love to see our beloved Doctor get the James Gunn super treatment. It's a return to form, and it was great. There's a few people, as Rachel is saying as well. We're hearing a lot of people say that. Our issue is what is going on with the producers and the executives who seem to have this in agenda to make themselves
See,
sound good or to give them some
yeah, it's
credibility.
sometimes it's not the thing that it's not the product that's the problem. It's what people who are attached to this product say that create the problem that was never there to begin with. Like my dad, I went to see Snow White with my dad. I dragged him along to help me out with that one. My dad really liked the adaptation of it,
Mm.
surprisingly. I was really shocked, but he really enjoyed it. But I was like, there's good parts about it and there's bad parts about it, but it's not Snow White. And I also was aware, and it was very difficult for me to separate it, but I managed it. I was also aware that of all the controversies that were surrounding it with Rachel Zegler, and obviously then you've got Gal Gadot as well, that was problematic for other people, you know. But he didn't have any of that attachment to it, so he really enjoyed it. But I just don't understand why people do that. There's not necessarily anything wrong with the product, but you attach something that really shouldn't be attached to it, and then that's what creates the problem. Yeah.
So marketing again, you've
Yeah.
jumped on the agenda. James Gunn, Nathan Fillion, and more on the MAGA outrage over the director saying Superman is never good. Well, you've waded into a debate deliberately. You'll have got half of America angry while half of America are backing you. You know what you're doing, and you're just trying to sell a movie. Is that good tactics? So so here we go. And I'm trying to be fair here. So what does it say there? Because it says something commandos. I can't see it because
Cre-
it's
Creature Commandos.
right. Creature commandos.
Yeah.
It's hidden on my screen. Gun inserted an out of nowhere incel army as a jab at fans. You see, you may find tonight, Rachel, I'm segueing from one to the other, to the other, to the other. I'm going
Okay.
back to Doctor Who, aren't I?
You are, yeah.
These these writers and producers seem to have this box of kind of goodies, and they can only use them. So we started with Gallifrey Cabaret has to do Palestine and LGBT. We've had we've had the Doctor's an immigrant, Superman's an immigrant, and now we've got in a previous thing James Gunn did, he had an incel army as a jab at the fans. It didn't fit the plot and it didn't enhance the narrative. Oh well, who cares? But it did make a statement. Now, with this plot leak for Superman, a much bigger and infinitely more important property, Gunn seems to be going back to the same well, using his script to settle points. Oh, well, seems to be par for the course. And I'll show you this because I will jump back to Doctor Who, because what worries me is they all seem to be saying the same thing. A hashtag feature, right? Okay, so we've got a moment in a bizarre twist. Lex Luthor is revealed to be operating in some sort of interdimensional world where mutant monkeys are seen at keyboards, typing furiously and generating digital hate aimed at Superman. These monkeys are essentially Luthor's troll army, spreading misinformation and ridicule online to demoralize the hero. And so, of course, they've explained here the social media trolls are the mutant monkeys, the hashtags is the existential threat to Superman's psyche, the underlying tone, look what you've done to me. And that's one of our cover photographs where Superman is chased by the trolls and followed by them. And I just go back to Robot Revolution. Honestly, I don't think you need a brain to do script writing at the moment. It looks as though I just have to go to the right rogue writing workshop, hard to say, and just get the right latest buzzwords.
Yeah, just that's exactly what I was thinking. Just get the buzzwords and just put it in and just dumb it down for people, why don't you?
Yeah, so I've got no more ideas. Oh, sorry, I'm pretending I'm RTD. I've got no more ideas for Doctor Who, but I want the money. Oh, well, in America, where I go, darling, now and again, because I have contacts, they're going on about immigration a lot, and they're going on about incels a lot, and they're going on about misinformation. I'll do a whole series on it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It means you've got no virtues, and it means that you don't really mean it. It just means you're jumping on agendas,
Yeah.
bandwagoners.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Planet of the Incels. Oh my God, the language is the same. And then, is this the same as the Lex Luthor mutant monkeys? You see, I'm fighting a battle on behalf of everyday people, said the doctor, who just want to get through their day. Sounds like Superman, doesn't he?
Does.
And I want them to feel safe and warm and fed. And then here comes this noise, this relentless noise. Cowards like you weaponizing lies, taking people's insecurity and fear, making it currency. You're so exhausting. You take away their bandwidth. Do you know what? I didn't mind this scene. I didn't
Mm.
like the doctor saying those words. I thought
No.
the scene had some tension.
Yeah.
But what now? I have to bring this up, Rachel, because I am seeing this scene in a new light, knowing what the Superman plot does.
It's just the same, isn't it?
It's just
Pretty much.
basically it's called I haven't got any ideas. I'm going to grab a famous franchise and put incels in it and troll monkeys and just go for it.
Well, I don't know. Were they writing this at the same time?
Were they in the same room?
Were
And
they in the
should we
same
pay
room?
them?
Because obviously these things take time to write, and we know these were written back to back. And Superman would have had to have been commissioned quite a couple of years ago at least, maybe
Chat GPT.
more.
Maybe they all use Grok or they use the
Grok
same
or GPT, yeah,
because they're saying
AI,
the same things.
AI,
Yeah. Or
AI.
maybe
What's the buzzword?
yeah. Or maybe both of them shouldn't be paid because it's the same script.
Doesn't Disney own Marvel now?
Yeah.
Could be that.
Oh, you mean they all went to a writing seminar?
Yeah,
The Disney writing seminar. Mind you,
yeah,
we've both done streams and our leaks are confirmed as correct that Disney weren't
yeah.
too happy with what RTD was doing.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely. But
yeah.
maybe RTD and James Gunn met at some point and they were like crossing over their notes and like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Can I borrow this from you? Brilliant.
Well, yeah. Just can I have your contact number and we'll do a WhatsApp and I'll give you some quick buzzwords and then you're away with it. That's it.
Well, he says he's got contacts, doesn't he?
Oh, well, of course.
And
He's got all the
if
right ones.
James Gunn is directing a Marvel movie, you know, he's obviously friends with Bob Iger at the top, you know.
Well, as Garbage is saying to people, there are super chats available. I can't keep up with the thread because I do obviously want to make sure we're not going off piste. It's a when you're just at home and not being recorded talking about woke issues, you do need to want to be on safe territory. You want to be careful, and so I'm not looking at the thread every second. But yes, there are super chats available.
Oh, no.
They're working. They never have a day off, them
I
lot.
thought one of
So,
them was getting fired.
well, they've been killed, they've been mutilated, they've been left by the roadsides for dead. I'm trying every tactic I can.
It's just not happening.
Yeah. They're not in a union, so it's okay. Um, now, obviously, I just want to kind of bring us up to speed, which is, we've got, all the world issues that our Doctor Who actors and writers are bothered about, and good old Jodie Whittaker was bothered about the white male gaze. And I bring that up now
Yeah.
because you think, is the theme tonight that Hollywood and certain producers at the BBC are only bothered about the race agenda and the race narrative rather than a lot of other issues that we should be talking about if you're bothered about the country? The white male gaze means way back to Jodie Whittaker, all the way through in Doctor Who and other shows, all we're talking about is race.
That's what it feels like at the moment. Race, 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 and race. Can't we do something else? You know? We don't have to. We're probably like we're very multicultural now, aren't we? So, do we really need to do that?
There's a word in the middle top there, beginning with G, that I'm not going to say, but
Uh,
Shooty said it.
yes, yeah.
Shooty
Okay.
said it. I
Did he?
mean, yeah, he did, yeah. So I mean,
I wasn't even aware he said it.
he said it last year. It was when we were doing so many streams and they were doing millions of interviews because they were excited then, Rachel, before it
Of
all
course.
started. But yes, all those words are quotations from various Doctor Who producers and people. Okay, the ones in green, they're not me. This is what they've said to us. So the agenda's been there for about a decade now. And of course, remember, just to remind everybody about this agenda, I know the white male gaze thing is
Oh, I
famous.
remember he said that now. Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
carry on. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, that's what Doctor Who, right, the white male gaze is Jodie Whittaker. That's what Doctor Who always celebrated. The backlash is always the thing that gets focused on, but really it's so small. And also for a true fan, they know it's not warranted. If somebody came up to you and said, I'm not watching the show anymore because the doctor's a woman, how would you respond? I suppose I'd say, I think you have some internal issues that need addressing. I wonder if their mothers would be proud of that comment. I know she's laughing. Some people are capable of change, but it isn't worth engaging with necessarily. I mean, the producer, James Gunn, I don't care about if I've caused offence. Go and touch grass. I suppose she's laughing it off. She's been given a great role and she's the first woman doctor, so she's not going to tolerate people saying it shouldn't be. I mean, I wouldn't, I don't think. But yeah, it's just the way we talk to each other gets me. Yeah, so Paul Ashworth again, thank you. Brendan, Rachel, if you were both cast, it's more likely Rachel, how would you play the doctor?
I wouldn't be playing the Doctor. I'd refuse that role.
As in, not to be the second or third female doctor.
I wouldn't touch it because it's a role that belongs to a man. And why change something that doesn't need changing? Give me the Rani or Romana.
Which Rani do you want to be? The one
Oh
that's
yeah, I forgot
eaten,
about
the
that.
one that's eaten, or the pathetic one who says, "Hey, are you all right?" The one who does ham sandwiches.
Well, portrayal-wise, both absolutely fantastic, but the writing was just not up to the standard that was given by Pip and Jane Baker. So if we resurrect Pip and Jane and get them to write the Rani, do you think they'd do it for us?
Do you think? Well, I'm gay, so boy, I'm exactly where we should be apparently for Doctor Who.
What about you, Brendan, though? How would you play the Doctor if
How would
you
I?
were to play the Doctor?
Well, as everybody knows, I keep using the word dark. So what the hell do I mean by dark? I think you need a much more kind of, well, if I said Chris Eccleston, if we went a bit more northern, and I mean just gritty, go maybe more gritty, a grittier doctor, a more aloof doctor, and I don't mean aloof as in, up himself. I just mean alien and a bit. I mean, if I could act, I'd love that Tom Baker quality with his eyes and everything, where he's just offbeat. He's on a different level. I like the Chris Eccleston element where he's kind of down there with it. I like essences of Paul McGann as well. A voice like that would help. So a darker, broodier doctor who you can't always predict what he's going to say or do, and he will say things that are undiplomatic, and he will trigger people, and he will provoke people, and he will hurt people just by not being aware of the sensitivities. He would just get on with the bigger picture. I think
So, so pretty much anywhere within the ranges of Doctors 1 through to 9, and then perhaps Peter Capaldi.
yeah, 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 yeah. Isn't that funny? I seem to be picking a certain type. Yeah, this is the point, isn't it? Why did we need to change it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. You just don't need to change it. I don't think roles should be. I don't think it should be changed for the sake of changing it. And oh, Dee Dee, you've chosen the great Colin Baker there. I
Yeah,
approve.
he's creeping around you. I know what's going on here.
Colin
Anyway,
Baker
Paul,
rules. He's the best Doctor.
that was a good question, Paul. And obviously, I
Very
need to
good
say thank
question.
you. I need to say thank you in my usual way.
I was just
There you
about to
go.
say, did Barbara finally get exterminated in the Daleks there?
She did.
But the ending might, well,
Yeah, I thought I'd
maybe
go for that.
not very ladylike for Barbara.
It's very hard. Thanks, Garbage, of course, because I send him the photograph and he does all the magic tricks with it. So, on the queering of Doctor Who and also the political agenda, I'm sorry there's a lot of writing here, but I'll just do various bits, Rachel, right? I'm not
Yeah,
going to do the whole thing, don't worry. This is RTD in that You're Manchester, the most recent interview, of course. I think it's getting worse. I think it's getting tougher. Do you remember just a few years ago we had the arrogance to say, why do all these people, why are these companies supporting Pride? So he makes a big thing of, their gay allies or queer allies, all these companies, and now they're all backing out. They're all pulling out. They're getting scared of the whole trans argument. I'm seeing in my own lifetime a backlash. I always thought our rights were paper thin, to be absolutely honest. These paper thin rights can be taken away with one vote, one prime minister, one president, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, you can see RTD is getting really, whoa. Now, I will say again, gay rights, gay adoption, gay marriage, we've got it all in this country. Thank you very much to the country. That's fine. What you're going on about RTD, or you're going on about trans rights, but this is, Rachel, where it all gets a bit interesting, because this is why he's been like he has, because he also says, so the fight is on. I think it's disguised as a trans fight. Oh, it's disguised as a trans fight. They are after all of us. You literally see it heating up day by day by day. We stand to have all our rights taken away. It's like if the Supreme Court in America next turns towards getting rid of gay marriage, then it will sweep across. Do you know what? He has just written Conrad Clark as somebody who spreads misinformation and
Yes.
mistruths
Yes.
and rumour.
I agree.
What the hell is he doing? Because what he's saying there is,
It's
I
fear
think
mongering.
exactly.
It's fear mongering, and I'm sorry, didn't you just not get married just recently?
Yep.
Exactly, and RTD was married until
Yep.
like his husband passed away. So what rights? I don't understand what rights are exactly being taken away. I am aware of our court hearing that took place to establish what they meant in the Equality Act and things like that. But that doesn't mean to say that the rights have been taken away.
No, there's an argument about safe spaces as an example.
Absolutely. And I think that new spaces should be created, but I don't see any rights that have been taken away. Have you noticed in this statement, excuse me, that he's not actually said what rights it is that have been taken away from
Because they haven't
people?
been taken away yet,
But
Rachel.
no,
What
they
he's saying
haven't.
is they
Exactly.
might be. He
They
says
haven't. The companies. Oh, well, hello. I'm not used to this being here at the moment. The companies. Sorry if you all got shocked there with the sound. The companies. I'll get there in a minute. They have stopped advertising Pride. Why? Because it was not doing any favors for their businesses to get involved in political ideologies,
Yeah.
right? So, but that doesn't mean to say that they've lost a right just because the companies are not,
No.
supporting Pride as much. And that court ruling, that court hearing, sorry, didn't take any rights away. It was just clarification of the law. So I just don't understand. Don't get it.
And this is when it gets dangerous, because this man is in charge of writing scripts. He's still a powerful man in the media, and you can imagine there's more than RTD around. And you just look at this, and I'm going, you are hypothesizing, you are guessing, you are projecting a day when it gets dark. So we've had 2 seasons of Doctor Who, and you say you need an emotional doctor because of the dark times we're in. And when we keep listening to all your speeches, as Rachel quite rightly said, what is the dark time? I'm aware of the dark times in Nigeria, but you didn't want to mention that. So what the hell are you talking about, RTD? Because I'm allowed to get a little bit frustrated and angry with you because you're happy to slag off democratic politicians in America and Britain, but you won't call out Nigeria for a law they have and things they do to people you say you're defending. I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. You can't. Sorry, he's just fear mongering. This is just pure fear mongering, and I reckon he knows that perhaps young people might read this. No, it's just
It was an interview with a. It was an interview in Manchester with a drag queen. It was an easy interview,
that's
and he
the
was at
Your Manchester one, yeah.
yes. If you've not seen it, anybody, I obviously did a show on it, the explosive RTD interview. I've transcribed about 25 slides, and every slide has so much you would want to talk about. Um, Dr. Rick, it's not rights he wants, it's cultural submission. And you have every right to give a version of that because I don't feel as though he's, as Rachel quite rightly said, if he was saying, oh, they've taken away gay marriage or something, then I understand what the issue is.
Yeah,
If he's
me
talking about
too.
trans rights, I'm aware that women's rights are under threat, you know, because you've got trans versus women is kind of where it's getting couched, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. It's just the way it goes. But you have to have a very clear definition, you know, female, male, and then obviously you've got trans, but they are still biologically male or female. But people just don't want to do that at the moment. They're just trying to blur the lines. But that doesn't mean they say that their rights are being taken away just because they're trying to blur the lines. We're just trying to say, hey, back off. This is our space. These are our appointments. Okay, don't someone posted something the other day on X, and it was about someone posting a story, a trans person posting a story saying that they thought that they were getting their period. What? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that can't happen. So they took a gynecologist appointment and said that they were biological female. That's blurring of the lines.
Yeah.
That's taking away the right of a gynecologist appointment for somebody else. That's taking over the system where you don't belong. I wouldn't walk in for a prostate exam.
No. No.
That would just be weird.
I can't believe we've got to this point where blurred lines. Remember, there was that song. It had a nice, catchy number to it, but unfortunately, it was about the consent wasn't really asked for, and blurred lines. Blurred lines are normally dangerous. Blurred lines are not good. All this gender fluid talk. No, well, you can be gender fluid in your own head and projection, but which toilet are you going in? Which changing room were you going in?
I think the only time that I ever corrected someone to do with something to do with trans and biological female was when it was on a tweet where India Willoughby, the journalist India Willoughby, went to have a mammogram.
Yeah.
Okay. And someone said that, oh, yeah, India Willoughby's a man, so India's not entitled to a mammogram. And I'm like, actually, India can get a mammogram. It doesn't matter whether or not India's male or female. Men can also have mammograms. So, you've got to get your facts straight if you're going to say something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, if India's on estrogen as well, then the chances are higher. That's just a fact. So, yeah, that's the only time I think I've ever corrected someone on it.
So, just to join the dots, RTD is bothered about dark times that he can see in the future because he thinks the trans fight is actually everybody's fight, but it hasn't happened yet. And then we come, Rachel, to the update on the J.K. Rowling hits back after TV's Lorraine claims trans row comes down to toilets. If people watched us a program or two back, it came from this. There's the transcript, and I there's a colour I got wrong, but I've got it mostly right. It tends to be the green is Boy George saying more. it's been very tough. Usually with trans kids, says Boy George, they inform the adult, unlike gay kids, little girls not acting like a little girl, blah, blah, blah. But the bit which gets tasty is near the bottom, where it is definitely Lorraine Kelly. So Boy George says, and also no one goes into the loo to hang out. It's a horrible place, smelly, stinky, horrible. That's Boy George. And then Lorraine Kelly says, why does it always boil down to toilets? I just don't know why. And J.K. Rowling has gone, whoa, J.K. Rowling, what? Because she was called a muggle, of course, by
course,
Boy
yeah.
George, and
Yeah.
it wasn't challenged. So J.K. Rowling has hit out at Lorraine Kelly after the Scots TV host appeared to dismiss concerns about biological men in female-only spaces. Days after the Harry Potter writer took a swipe at Boy George, he appeared on Lorraine. Bringing up their online spat, the presenter declared it was always coming down to toilets, and I just don't know why. But Miss Rowling, who has long campaigned for women's rights, fired back, saying, why does it always boil down to toilets? Tee-hee-hee. It doesn't, Lorraine. It boils down to intact male rapists in female prisons, men using supposedly female-only rape crisis centres, the decimation of women's sports, and the authoritarian attacks on freedom of speech and belief. There you go. What do you think of that?
Well said. Well said. That's all I can say. She's bang on the money there. But I suppose on daytime TV, Lorraine can't really say all that much, but she's right.
She was a bit naughty. We said at the time, didn't we? She was a bit naughty because she allowed basically. Do you know what? I can think of politicians called Nigel. I can think of other people out there who, if they go on a program, and sometimes quite rightly, they will be questioned for every word they use.
Yes.
They'll be pushed back on.
Yes.
But Lorraine Kelly, and she is a journalist. She's not a
is.
cozy little Madame Doubtfire. She is actually a journalist. She did Dunblane, didn't she? I think she did Dunblane, or was it the Pan Am attack?
I can't remember.
The explosion. But she's a
I
journalist.
can't remember. I would have been a child when Dunblane happened.
So she's a journalist, and of course she says, "Why does it all boil down to toilets? You're a woman, you know."
Oh, she
the
knows.
debate. So that is being, I don't know if it's not passive aggressive, but there's something she's doing there that is just, it's disingenuous.
Oh, it's definitely disingenuous. No, I agree. She knows it comes to more than that, but she's not going to say it. She don't want to lose out, because everyone likes Lorraine. She's nice.
That's it. That's that. Thanks, Zach. It was the Pan Am. It was Lockerbie. Yeah. Okay. It was a horrible thing. Yeah. Lockerbie. So she was on the ground for TVM, I think it was then.
But you're right. She, as a journalist, really, I know it seemed more of a chit chat here, but really, she should have been pushing back. But I suppose Lorraine isn't really a journalist show at that point, is it? But she should be pushing back.
It's just that she's having she's decided to pick a side, like RTD has, like James Gunn, like Inner Alums. Our whole show seems to be about people who are picking a side. Gallifrey Cabaret, Palestine they've picked. And Lorraine Kelly seems to think that one of her fellow Scots, J.K. Rowling, is on the wrong side of the debate. And Boy George, who's a man, is allowed to slag off a woman for saying she's not happy, and actually, more than not happy, she's actually campaigning and fighting the fight. And she's called a muggle by Boy George. That is not challenged. That is not corrected. Lorraine Kelly doesn't go, oh, let's not get into name calling. Let's not slag off. She allows it. In fact, she laughs.
Yeah.
And then later on she goes, and why does this all boil down to toilets? Well, you know why. And I'm sorry, but this is the state of the media. And I can understand your frustration, Rachel. You want to be in acting, you want to be in musicals. You were told by your agent, weren't you, that, tick lists and all that, weren't you?
Well, I see these tick lists in the casting breakdowns. So obviously, I can't go into details as to what I see, but I see stuff and it's like, well, that doesn't suit me because I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that. What is it that you want? And it just makes casting so much harder at the moment. And I don't know. I doubt if many people would want to work with me because I don't have the right view at the moment.
But this is what it comes down to, isn't it? We're not in a democratic place. You're only allowed one opinion. The trouble is, I'm going to keep trying, and you do the same. Some of these people who say, "But we're on the right side of it," they are inconsistent, and some would say what they're saying has no merit either. I've just pointed it out with RTD. So that debate rumbles on. I don't think Lorraine Kelly will win it, and neither should
I,
she.
I don't think she will. I think she should have pushed back or at least stopped him from calling someone names.
Not very good. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he has been to prison, and it was for what he did to another person.
He has, and that was part of what the spat was over
Yeah,
originally.
yeah, because he technically, you could say, somebody else lost some rights in a personal way with Boy George, and that was a crime. And now he's actually calling out somebody who has not committed a crime, and Lorraine Kelly sides with him. Oh, this world makes no sense.
Well, he got let out for good behavior. He's done his time. It's bad what it happened though.
It
That
was bad.
shouldn't have happened.
It was bad, and JWC. If people don't know, JWC Reviews has got it written there. But the point is, I don't wish bad on anybody. But why is it okay to wish bad on J.K. Rowling, who's got a very interesting history? She's had a hard time as well. So
I often think that once you start calling people names, that's really where you've lost the argument
yeah,
because you've got no other defense.
totally. Well, here's a part of the debate that you do touch on, quite rightly. You've got Scene Mag here. Trans women eligible for the 2026 Women's Prize for Non-Fiction. It's continued. I thought we did do a Supreme Court clarification. And then on the right there, you've got Labour tears itself apart over the trans rights as biological man, breaks party rules and stands to become the women's officer. Keir Starmer said he agreed with the Supreme Court ruling and clarification, and now we're all clear what to do. So now we've got a trans person who's the women's officer in the Labour Party. What the hell?
Get ready for some mansplaining.
Too right.
Oh no. No, that's not right.
It's still happening. It's still happening. I was hearing that in universities they've chosen to just not really address that ruling because obviously they're down with the kids, and the kids at university will be more against the Supreme Court ruling. So basically, it's a slightly different world at universities, is what I'm understanding.
I've not heard that, but that also wouldn't surprise me, having been to university myself. So
It shows you that basically that ruling, I don't know how far it has reached.
I think that's going to be a bit of an uphill battle, really, to make sure that it gets done. But I don't think Keir Starmer's going to pull his finger out of his
Oh, he's
bum
very busy.
anytime
Very
soon.
busy.
Very busy.
Very
Very busy appointing a trans woman in the woman's officer role.
Yeah. So here we go. Charlize Theron. I mean, Hollywood actors are the gift that keeps giving. Yes, I thought she was a boy too until she looked at me when she was 3. Can I just say, when she was 3, her boy, she said and said, I am not a boy. And we have all these cases. I've got millions of them. I won't try.
How can a 3-year-old decide that?
And would you, as a decent parent, authenticate it? It's a bit like that one that they had on the media about a year ago where somebody said they were a cat, and at school they said, well, we'll treat you like a cat. And you go, no, these are kids.
No, these are children. Children will say anything,
Can I just
I
say,
was a Dalek as a child, okay? I was a Dalek as a child. I identified for half an hour, perhaps a week, as a Dalek, okay? I'm glad I got that off my chest.
There you go. Well, you've taught in schools as well. You know this.
Yes.
What is the difference, right? Because we're Doctor Who fans too, so I'm joining the two together. What's the difference between a kid saying I'm a cat and giving them a day or two to pretend they're a cat, or a kid who's 3, a boy, and they say they're a girl, and you say, "Okay, I'll dress you like a girl now because I'm a Hollywood actress." And what's the difference between that and cosplay?
Nothing.
Because
Like
cosplay is
literally
big in
nothing.
Doctor Who now, isn't it? Cosplay.
Well, cosplay is massive, isn't it? Yeah, no, absolutely nothing. You're just going into a child's imagination and you're making it something that it's not. And that you're trying to make it a reality when it's not a reality. The child is just playing most of the time.
So tonight we've got Nigeria is a safe space for gay doctors. We've got J.K. Rowling's the baddie and not Boy George, and Lorraine Kelly's picked her side. We've then got the Supreme Court says, I think we know what men and women are, and we've decided. And then we've got broadcasters must air views that trans women are women, says Ofcom, who polices all the broadcasters. It's not going away, Rachel.
No, it's not. So I was just popping a message into the chat
I mean,
that trans women are women, says Ofcom. When was
so
this?
this was last week. GB News wrote that one of their editors wrote to Ofcom asking for clarification that whether because they have to have an editorial fairness. So basically, if you have a somebody from the Labour Party, you have to have somebody from the Tory. That balance.
Yeah.
And Ofcom are big on that. So one of the GB News editors wrote to Ofcom to ask for clarification in the light of the Supreme Court ruling. And Ofcom came back and said, no, on your show and on the BBC and on ITV and all your shows, broadcasters must air the view that trans women are women.
But they're not women. They wouldn't need the identifier of trans otherwise. It's there for a reason.
This is what I mean. I mentioned the universities loosely, but I knew I was coming up to this. There are loads of parts of our world where they're saying, sorry, now we've had top lawyers sit down and really think about this, and sorry, you're on, and we're going to continue. Ofcom are they're the regulators, but it's a quango. And if anybody knows Britain, quangos is basically a selection of people selected by whoever the government is at the time. So if it's a Labour Party, they'll get some lefties in. If it's a Tory Party, they get people on their side. And they fill the quangos with all these people.
Yeah.
And then they're unelected and they're not challenged. And these people are saying, no, you continue doing it like this and forget those lawyers.
And guess who's at Ofcom at the moment? Michael Grade.
Well,
I'm just throwing that one in.
Our favourite person.
Sorry, I was so being mean there.
So Jesse's given us clarification, and thank you for that. Ofcom, the UK's communications regulator, acknowledges and supports transgender people, including trans women, within its workforce and in its regulatory framework. Which
by
fine.
law, it has to, because otherwise it's discrimination.
Yes.
And you're not allowed to do that.
And we're not for, and neither of us are arguing for discrimination. What we're saying is that there seems to be one rule here and a different rule there. That seems to be one of my patterns of tonight. Some people say one thing and then do the other. And this is what's going on here. And like I said, and I'm just going to have a cup of tea and sit back. And Rachel, who's already done a stream about this, and a very popular one, your favourite topic, I think, Rachel.
What, this person, Lily Tino? Yeah, Lily Tino. Okay, so the reason why I ended up covering this on my channel is because I think this is probably going to be quite big news if it continues. So I wanted to cover it because I think it's really important. So a couple of weeks ago now, it must have been now a couple of weeks ago, I said on this channel what had happened to Lily Tino. Lily Tino had gone to Florida, Disney World, and gone and used the women's bathroom. Lily Tino is a trans woman, apparently. And well, they're quite conservative in Florida, aren't they? And it's illegal for that to happen. But in addition to that, Lily was also taking photographs
Yeah.
and rating the bathrooms. And I think this is probably where some of the bigger issue lies, actually, taking photographs. And there were people in the background of some of these photographs. But then the Attorney General started looking into it in Florida. And so then Lily then tried to obviously justify it and show pictures of celebrities. But the thing is about these celebrity pictures is no one's in the background. For all we know, it could be a hotel room. It could be their house, that kind of thing. But it wasn't washing with people. And it only progressed to get worse. And then Lily went and did an interview with another trans creator by the name of Mariah. And Mariah did not hold back whatsoever. So Lily didn't know any of the questions or anything like that as to what Mariah was going to be asking. And it was all to do with everything that Lily had done, pretty much that controversial stuff over the past 2.5 years or so. And Mariah called it all out. It was I like, it's a 54-minute interview. I highly recommend, if you can tolerate it, watching it. Should you wish to, chat, should you wish to, if you go to my video, you can find the link there. It's in that video link. But at the end, Mariah was like, "Are you going to apologize?" And Lily's like, "I'm not going to answer that question." Well, anyway, all that aside, a couple of days later, after that interview, and with everything that's going on at the Attorney General's office, Lily suddenly makes a video saying that Lily is going to take a break from TikTok. I wonder why. Because first of all, there's an investigation, a supposed investigation going on against Lily. Lily's done those photographs. Lily's being accused of all sorts of things under the sun, and that interview. So it's all culminating in a massive amount of backlash. And this is because Lily found that creating content in the way of like exposing foreigners for misgendering by mistake and whatever, rage bait content made money. And depending on what program Lily is on, Lily could make $20 to $40 per 1 million views. And if Lily's on a different program, it could be in the thousands. Okay, so Lily made rage bait content to make money, and that fueled everything that Lily did. And it's basically come back to bite Lily on the bottom, and it's not going down well.
Well, there you go. Dalek Lives Matters gives their opinion. Matt Walsh giving a take on that. And just to show you, the FA requires trans men to say they are biologically female. So that's pushing back to the Supreme Court bit, isn't it? I suppose. Yeah, that's the trans men.
Yes, yeah. Like my brain had just processed what had been
Yeah.
said there. Yes.
You know, I started with Gallifrey Cabaret. I'm still on it, I think. But I've never seen, oh God, I really don't know why a drag queen should be reading to little kids, but there you go. I thought I'd just throw that in there to cheer you up. And this is my light moment. I'm lightening the, no, we all saw this, everybody, and Glastonbury distances itself from performers' comment and chant.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't see that because I wasn't going to tune into Bob Vylan. Why would I be wanting to? I've never heard of him, really. I wasn't interested. In fact, I didn't think the setup for Glastonbury this year was that appealing, actually.
I didn't even look at it this year.
Yeah,
I am aware of this.
Well, this is what I mean, and what gets me is I'm not going into the politics, of course, because it's not. It's, you know, that's a stream in itself with people who are well informed, and I'm not.
Yes, same here. Same here.
But the point is, we are this chat about media, woke, and all the rest of it. And it seems to me the BBC, who employ people like RTD and many others to say things on their channels and will warn us about programs and this and that,
Yeah.
don't have any issue with this beaming out live. And well paid editors and directors didn't understand that they could press a button and mute or just cut the feed for a few seconds while they just made sure that they were covered. It's as if they were on a party jolly, the BBC, everybody, and they were just beaming all this stuff without thinking. They'll still want payment because of all this great skill they were using. And then something like this is shown, and they never even distracted themselves from what they were seeing. And they've got no excuse at all for this because that was behind him on the set. I'm not going to read it out, but that was behind him before he even opened his mouth. So wouldn't a director go, oh, hold on a minute, can we cut to the other stage?
Well, that's technically what should happen. Was it broadcast on the BBC?
Yep.
Then that's what should have happened. That's
And you
unusual.
know, it was blanket coverage. It's a bit like we've just had Wimbledon. So basically, BBC One and BBC Two, they've got that stage on, BBC Three. You know, it's all happening.
Well, we all know that they make little edits as they go as well. So really, someone missed the beat there. But well, I don't know. When he does the song as well, isn't it? It's all in the song too, and they
It's just,
messed up with that big time.
but I know, but this is what really peeves me. These people are getting paid money from RTD onwards. All these people are happy to have a gob on them and to be so bloody pompous and pious about their responsibilities, and then tell us when we're nasty people. And then they have eyes and they have a finger and there is a mute button, and there's also, they could verbally say cut to camera 4 or something. And they sit there going, you know, I can't wait to be paid my exorbitant amount of money because I'm having a great time here and I'm not going to apply any directing or editorial control. I'm on a freebie. And they see that and their brain doesn't even work. I can imagine if a kid in school in their PowerPoint presentation had anything like that behind, they'd be in front of their head in seconds.
I would have been in after school detention for that.
Well,
My school was very strict. After school detention and probably report actually.
But this is what I mean. I will not let them off because everybody else in our jobs, our humble, modest, who cares what you do job, on less money than this lot, we have to apply editorial control all the blooming time.
Yeah.
We have to use common sense, or we'd get into trouble. Can you imagine if any kid said, oh, I want to do a speech about this, because sometimes we do debates and stuff, and they had something like that behind them, and I was having one of my daydream moments, and I was sat back thinking of the money I'm getting, and I just let them do it, and a parent or a kid complained later, I would be in big doo-doo.
Oh, you would be. You would be.
So all I'm saying, everybody, is, so where's the sackings? Where's the bollockins for high-paid BBC executives?
I feel like did he get dropped from his record label?
Oh, he has. He has.
Yeah. So he got taken out. He got punished for that. Because obviously, yeah. And but it's one rule for one person, one for another, isn't it?
Yeah, and hopefully the BBC tomorrow will tell me how to live my Sundays, and on Monday they'll tell me how to get up and how me to do my day, because they are full of messaging at the moment, but they drop a brick all too often.
Yeah. No, this was
Maybe they
too
should.
far.
Yeah, maybe they should just shut up, and maybe they should get their day job right. I got my job right. No kid would have gone anywhere near this and got through the classroom. I'm just a normal person. I want to know what the director was doing. So just apply the same rules, please. Thank you very much. Gosh, this got tasty in Northern Ireland. Did you see that?
No, what's
Now
this?
this this was obviously they do bonfires on the 12th of July and stuff like that. And there's one place where they did this bonfire and they put that boat on the top with those kind of mannequins. And obviously there is a political debate about it, but most people have said that is racist because it. I have to say, and I'm not showing it, but there's the photograph of when they did do the bonfire, and it does look uncomfortable. And yet other people are arguing, saying, "I know, but don't you put Guy Fawkes on the top of a bonfire? Isn't Why is that all that
In
right?"
November, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's just is this more insensitive because of I don't know it. So it's just interesting that it caused a massive furore in Northern Ireland with people saying you can't do this, and then other people saying, "Well, Guy Fawkes, we do."
It's tough, isn't it?
It is a tough. Well,
Yeah.
no, I think it's because we're in a tough world now, and everybody
Yeah.
is very sensitive. Yeah, Guy Fawkes was a real person, and every year we burn effigies of him. But yeah, interesting. Now here's another one that was in your ballpark.
Oh yeah.
Jason Isaacs, who played Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter films, recently said this in reaction to the backlash HBO has received for the casting of Snapes. So I'll just go bigger, of course. Is it Papa Seu? How do you say his name?
I don't really know. So I just say Asidu or
Okay.
Asiadu. I say it different every time, but Asidu, I think I would say.
Okay. He's one of the best actors I've ever seen in my life, says Jason Isaacs. I've seen some people online who are being rude about him. What they're being is racist. And then this is not Jason Isaacs underneath. Nobody who is criticising the decision to cast this lad as Snape is questioning his acting abilities. He is a fantastic actor. The criticism is because he does not resemble Snape at all. While watching the series, I personally would not be able to convince myself that he is Snape because there is no resemblance to how Snape is described in the books. And that's a big issue considering how important Snape's role in the story is. Pointing out that out as racist, according to Jason Isaacs, is unfair, said person. Where do you stand on this? I still haven't read Harry Potter, so I haven't got skin in the game.
Well, on the screen that you've got there, those are J.K. Rowling's depictions of Snape. That's what he looks like. Hooked nose, sallow skin, very clearly white, and he is the most consistent character with a skin identifier all the way throughout the entire series. He's supposed to be incredibly ugly, vile. Like you just wouldn't want to look at him. That's the whole point. Like you look at Alan Rickman who played Snape in the films, right? By definition, Alan Rickman is way too good looking for Snape. Like Alan Rickman is better looking than any of those pictures there, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But he doesn't look like Snape, and I don't think that's a bad thing to say. There's other characters that he could easily play. You can have characters of a lesser skin description that you could perhaps change if you wanted to do that, or you could perhaps put him as Kingsley or something like that. There's other roles that he can do. He's not the right choice. He could have the most amazing portrayal of Snape and it still wouldn't be correct because he doesn't look the part. But if you look, I don't know if anyone has seen those pictures of the actors that they've cast for the new series versus the actors that they originally cast. If you look at every single one, there's similarities between all of them except for Snape. That's the only one that is completely different. He's way too good looking.
So
And
this
I don't think it's racist to say that. Like Jason Isaacs strikes me as a person who's like quite gentle and he looks for the good in everything. That's the type of person that he's always struck me as with everything that he said. You know, so I get it. He's defending him, but it is the wrong casting choice.
Yeah, like I say, I don't have any skin in the game, but you've explained it well there, and I see what you mean. I mean, I think people are just saying it's like going to James Bond and Ian Fleming novels and saying, but that's the James Bond character. So if you did that, you've changed it.
Yeah.
And I can see what you're saying. That there's
And
I
then,
don't I just don't see what they're trying to do with that.
and J.K. Rowling does not have any say in the casting this time round. Last time she did have a say in the casting. Her one main particular was Robbie Coltrane to be Hagrid,
Yeah,
and she got him. And then she just signed off on everyone else and had a say in that. But this time around, she made it clear that what Papa signed that letter. That what letter was it now? That letter that all the actors were signing about the Supreme Court ruling,
right,
and he signed that open letter, and people were saying that he should be fired for that and things like that. And the answer is no, he can't be fired for that because of the laws surrounding that. It's a gender critical view. He can't be fired for that. And she even said, I even I even if well, I can't get it out. She said that she wouldn't fire him for having a gender critical view. What would make a hypocrite if she did as well, and it was protected by law. But she said that she doesn't even have a say in the casting, and that's
right.
pretty much all she said to address it. So she's not having a say in it. So they've just gone with whatever they wanted.
So there you go. That was July the 11th,
Yeah.
2020. It was supposed to be July the 11th, but obviously, it is still July the 11th, isn't it?
Well,
I'm getting
yeah, we
confused.
can pretend it is, can't we?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
run out of days. It's because, yeah, my fault. I had to have a visit to a dentist. So, slightly more important. Uh, so we know always conclude with the wokest of the week. So I'll go through them and give Rachel a moment, and I'll ask everybody in the thread. So, what is the wokest of the week? RTD's Doctor Who betrays LGB people in Nigeria. James Gunn's Superman plot follows the same agenda as RTD. RTD feminising the queer agenda, as explained. The whole debate with about Doctor Who, really. The Glastonbury debacle of the BBC. Ofcom on trans women's voice. J.K. Rowling and Lorraine Kelly's scrap. The bonfire displays. The trans encroachment into women's fields. And Jason Isaacs defending the choice of actor for Snape.
Well, there's a lot of good things to choose from on this list. I'm going to go with the BBC Glastonbury's debacle because they really should have done something about that and got on top of that, because that was just that it wasn't needed. Wasn't needed.
So sometimes we actually coalesce around one. I suppose it was obvious this week that I really do get a bee in my bonnet about what RTD did with
Yeah.
Doctor Who and that story. So I should stick with that because it was quite clear where my passion was there, wasn't it? So I there you go. That was my Walkers. That's Rachel's. And so Rachel, we come to that point where you've got your tasty little channel and what you're up to.
Well, in a moment, I'm just about to record a video after this, ready for tomorrow. I got a bit behind because I've had lots of building work going on, so I couldn't do any recording. So I'm going to do that, and that will be out tomorrow at 4:00. And then on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we will be looking at the woke news. I think we'll probably do the Jason Isaacs stuff on Monday. So please do tune in for that at Chat About It, Don't Shout About It, or Chat Don't Shout. My name is really too long, but I couldn't get another one.
There you go. So, Rachel, you know Rachel. But if you have just discovered us tonight, if you go onto her stream and subscribe, please. She does more varied content. I tend to be much more Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But the point is, we all.
Yeah. I do Doctor Who Sunday, and I tend to, for the most part, where I can keep it all to a Sunday. That didn't happen last week because that news was just too good to not do.
Yeah. So Zach Written agrees with me on this one. RTD betrays LGB. Dark Hall, whatever happened to Lorraine's belly? I don't know what happened to her.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to look at that photo again. Divan and Dragon, remember to enjoy Rachel's channel. He's mentioned Colin Baker and now your channel. Oh, yeah. What's going on here? You've paid him. And Dalek Lives Matters is breaking news. I've heard the Hoopettes are involved in trafficking illegals. Oh gosh, yes. Believe it or not, we were going to film. We're not. I don't know if we haven't got time. Me and Jamie were going to film the. We were going to try and get a little lilo or something and put the puppets on our fish pond in the back garden and have them going across. But we
That's hilarious.
we were going to try that. But, time and money and life. But
Yeah.
there you go. But thanks, Rachel, and.
Thank you.
If you want us to do it again, give us those likes and subscriptions. We're getting tasty on this one. But thank you, Rachel, and bye
Thank
for now.
you. Bye, chat. Thank you.